Pudge, what time is
It's time for the Chubby Guys Podcast.
Woo!
Okay.
We're live, baby. We're live. We're back.
Pudge, how's it going, man?
Hey, well, we got some new gear. Trying to figure it out.
We ready to play with these toys here today,
So
man?
we're going to try like hell.
Yeah. Hey, man, thought it was interesting. I was looking forward to getting on here and talking a little bit. This past Monday night, I don't know when this is going to be released, but everybody's aware of the Bengals game and the Buffalo Bills player. You were there.
I was in attendance.
Yeah, and saw something that, you don't want to see it in any phase of life. I mean, that was pretty scary. You got a guy getting CPR on an NFL football field.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Pudge, you still heating your house with wood?
Hell no, man. It was way too much work. I installed a gas stove, and I've been calling Nimco Gas at 740-596-4477. I also got a hold of them at nimcogas@outlook.com as their email. And I also looked them up on their website, and that's nimcopropane.com. Chad, these guys, they've been delivering gas for over 30 years in our area. Just talked to them last week. They said that their customer base is one of the biggest it's ever been. It's one of the best things I ever did was call Nimco Gas. I got tired of dealing with all that wood. Way too much work.
Nimco.
Very scary scenario. And, a lot of debate right now in society. A lot of parents scratching heads like, man, do I let my son play football?
Well, there's a lot of. I think there's a lot of questions. Period. I mean, there's a lot of questions on. Number one, is this a freak accident?
Right.
Okay. Is this? I mean, because we talked about this. How many people get killed going to and from those games?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, and could this have happened on a golf course?
Hey, let's. The man's still alive.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Right.
So, how big of a freak nature thing is this? Mm-hmm. Number two, what happens to the game? Okay, what happens in that scenario of the game? Okay, do they need to make that game up?
Man, that's the tough one.
There's another question.
Yeah. What's your elevator pitch to the NFL? What do you say, man?
You had 70,000 people there. That saw 7 minutes of football that paid tickets.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
There's my.
Average ticket probably around $3,000.
At least 300.
Oh yeah,
the average ticket price.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying most aftermarket. I bet a lot of people paid. I'm talking about if you're taking your family.
Yeah,
you've got $1,000 tied up in that probably.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Easy. Yeah. So now you get into the safety of. These guys are absolutely.
Hey, do you want to help develop your child's athletic ability? Or maybe you want to get off the couch and make yourself a little bit better. They earn the day at AP Prep. Look them up, apprep.info.
My God, as a parent of an 8-year-old with a family and moving through life, the best thing I ever did was download the McDonald's app. What a breeze. Order for your family. Pull up. They bring it to you. Easy. Download the app today from McDonald's. I mean, the athleticism.
Oh, hey, the physical conditioning that these guys go through.
Somebody said the other day, it was Snyder, who's he was the director of football operations at a high level, and he said, understand how hard it is to gain a yard in the NFL.
Oh, my goodness.
These guys, they play the ball so fast.
And the other thing I want to cover, man, as far as topics, here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Man, you run the clock back 10, 15, 20 years. There weren't any such thing as these portable defibrillators, man. And look how many doctors. I mean, they were saying that they were at this guy within 10 seconds.
They were quick. Live there.
Yeah.
So I saw him fall.
Yeah.
And I take that back. When he fell, you could see it was very apparent that there was one man on the field that was not moving.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And whenever that was established, within seconds, there was a team of people on him. Yeah. Okay. And within seconds after that, there was a stretcher.
Oh, yeah.
Within minutes after that, the ambulance was there. Now, the ambulance was there for what felt like to me. Now, they said 16 minutes. I would have put more stock in like an hour.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing was, man, they basically got the guy's heart going again.
Back again, yeah.
On the field.
On the field, yeah.
I mean,
and then you knew it was bad whenever they all got around him and they turned their backs and made a U around him so nobody could see what was going on.
Oh yeah, well nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
But, anyway, we're bringing in a special guest.
Yes, he's here with us
on a phone line.
Yes, first time.
We're calling back a former guest. We wanted him to weigh on this topic.
He had a nice social media comment or post earlier.
Well, and I mean, he really focused in on is it safe for your kids to play football, or are you pro? And first and foremost, our guest is Coach Dennis Rinehart. We've had him on before. Guy coached for years.
Coached me.
Yeah, he's retired now, and but was around the game for a long time. Still follows the game very closely, and we thought he could bring some excellent perspective. So, how are you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good, man.
We're doing good. We're just glad that this works, man. I heard your voice.
On my end, I can hear it. It works good. Very good.
All right, good deal. So Coach, you probably heard our little intro discussion there.
Yes, I did.
I mean, it's not something.
Hey, are you a business owner looking for insurance coverage? Give this guy a call. You know him. You trust him. Jason Gillum, Gillum Insurance, 740-395-0190.
Hey guys, on behalf of the Chubbies, huge thanks to Geiger Brothers Construction. Give them a call at 740-286-0800. They've been great community supporters, and they are a friend of the Chubby program, so thank you, Geiger Brothers Construction.
This isn't something that you see very often. I mean, I've seen some head and neck injuries and things like that, before in the NFL and in college on TV, things like that. But man, it's very rare that you see a cardiac arrest or something like that. What was your perspective on that?
I've never seen anything like that. And, we were kind of discussing earlier about how things have changed so much as far as the equipment and what people know about sports injuries and those things from, the time that I was playing in the 1970s. You cannot compare the equipment. I mean, just every year it improves. They change rules every year, whether it's high school or NFL, to make the game as safe as they can. And, in football, there are going to be injuries, but I mean, the percentages of somebody having an extremely serious injury are not very great. And, and I understand some parents, they might have seen what they saw on Monday night, and some might decide they don't want their son to play the sport, and that's their prerogative.
Sure.
But I was speaking today on that social media post in defense of the game and about athletics in general and the value that they have as part of an entire education. So what I was doing is I was differentiating between, the professional game and the big time college game, and, comparing it to high school or even Division III football compared to, these big universities. And I just wanted to defend the game, and I only know the high school game from my experience as a player and as an assistant coach. But what I do know from my experience is there's a lot of good can come from being on a football field or participating in any athletics.
Right.
And, I see it as part of a kid's total education.
Sure.
And kids learn lessons that shape them in positive ways, and those lessons stick with them for the rest of their lives. And, you have men, Chad, like your father. They're great role models for young men who played under them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that may be the only positive role models those kids had in their lives at that time. Right. To some, people like your father were the closest thing they had to a father. you know.
Oh yeah. Hey, being a part of a team and things like that, there's all sorts of lessons that are learned. And, when you're looking at injuries or things like that as a deterrent to playing football, my thing would be, I guess my argument to those folks, or I wouldn't necessarily argue with them, but my thing is, anything in life, you're evaluating from a risk versus reward. Anything you do, you're making that evaluation. And, to me, in things like we saw Monday night are such an outlier. I mean, I think they're still trying to speculate as to what happened. Like maybe he got hit just at the right moment on a certain nerve that goes into his heart. I mean, you're talking about the guy should have played the lottery, man. I mean, unfortunately it happened. And I certainly hope he makes a full recovery, but yeah, I don't know that would be a sufficient reason to say, hey man, I'm going to deny myself the experience of playing a game. I don't know that would be sound. I mean, sure, if you want to 100% avoid the risk of dropping with cardiac arrest on a football field, then don't play football. Yeah. But you might have that same thing happen on a baseball field or a basketball court.
I would say that's happened in every sport.
It could have happened. It could have happened to people walking down the street,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
If people aren't aware of an underlying condition.
Sure.
I mean, that can happen, it really can.
Could have happened to him in practice.
Yeah. Oh, my, yeah. I mean, it could happen at any time. I mean, we can't get in the business of trying to predict that. And I feel like the game of football at every level, and you alluded to this, Coach, has tried really hard to enhance the safety features of the game. I mean, a lot of us old schoolers sometimes are complaining, like, it's like you're not even allowed to hit the quarterback anymore. And a lot of stuff, Yeah. I mean, they've really, in my opinion, come a long way toward making the game safer, but you can't make it 100% safe, nor can you any activity in life. Yeah.
Any contact sport, you can't, whether it's lacrosse or whatever.
Yeah.
You've got bodies flying around all over the place, and there are going to be collisions. There's going to be collisions in soccer.
Sure there is. And as kids get bigger and stronger and faster and learn better training techniques, I mean, it's going to happen. But I would say that the risk is lower now than what it's ever been.
Yes, I would agree with you there. And another thing is you have to look too at the different levels of play. You alluded to the athletes on the pro level. Yeah. And how strong they are and how fast they move. If you're going to be moving fast and you're going to be that strong, if there's a collision, it's going to be a lot harder collision than it's going to be in peewee, junior high, or high school football,
Oh, my, yes. Yeah, it's going to be altogether different.
Yeah, and it's almost like, you have to differentiate between the levels of the sport. Right. And you have to look at why each is played.
Right.
You look at the professional level, and it's big money. It's generating big money. Division I colleges, it's generating big money. But when you look at Division III college and high school football, that game's being played for a completely different reason in some ways.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody has eyes on really making any money from the game. And the thing is too, if you're evaluating, if you've got a son, you can't watch an NFL football game and see collisions or see something like that happen on Monday night and say, well, man, I can't let my kid play 7th grade football or something like that. I mean, my goodness, it's completely different. Would you agree with that, Coach?
Oh, I would. And, people are really, afraid of this concussion thing. And again, that goes that goes back to the force of the contact, the speed generated by those guys, and, most coaches, I'd say it's all coaches, they're looking out for what's best for the kids.
Right.
They really are.
Yeah. I don't think
anybody with any ethics is not going to make a kid play injured.
No.
Not going to do it,
No. Well, and the injury recognition and the awareness, particularly around concussions, has come so far since, when I played and even when I coached. If you're going to coach football at any level now, you have to be certified in concussion protocol.
Exactly.
And that was something that that has come so far now. And the way that they treat a concussion, or like they used to make the comment, oh, he got dinged or, donged or whatever. And it used to be like, shake it. They got his bell rung. And then, but that was always like, oh yeah, then he went back in or whatever. Now, man, hey, you get your bell rung. Well, they're serious about that. You now go into concussion protocol. And I just don't think you have the same type of dangerous situations occurring. I'm not saying that they don't, but I'm just saying the percentage level of those is much smaller.
Yeah, some of it too has to be with proper coaching and the technique of making a tackle.
Absolutely.
And they've changed the rules so much. Again, going back to when I played, the way that we were taught to tackle was to hit with the front of the face guard.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And the numbers, that's what it was. But they learned over time that was not safe to do that. And the way that kids are taught to tackle nowadays, take that kind of stuff into account.
Sure
you go to the rules of targeting.
Oh yeah. Well, Coach, if you would tackle somebody in an organized game today, the way you were taught to tackle in the 70s, there would be a penalty flag, and you'd be lucky to stay in the game.
Exactly.
So there's definitely been some evolution there, and so I take it that in summation, your take is you're still defending the game, and you're not afraid for youngsters to play football. Am I?
No, because I think there's so many valuable things that come out of participating in that game, and they have nothing to do with X's and O's. They have to do with the development of a person, the maturing of an athlete. And you get things from the game along those lines that are hard to get anyplace else. And I coached with some really good men, coached for some really good men. Again, when I made my post today, I described what I saw from each of them that they gave to the kids,
Right.
And, your dad, I remember hearing his pregame speeches and the things he said to those kids before games. Yeah. And it was more than, rah, 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 those sorts of things. They were things that were said by people like your father that they could fall back on as men when times got tough.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I had a similar, my head coach, still today, I think a lot of him, and I hear his voice in the back of my head a lot. Larry Blackstone, he had that very distinct voice, him as well. And, there's been many days where I've been down thinking, hey man, might be time to quit. And then I hear that guy's voice in the back of my head. So, there's definitely value, as far as being a part of a team.
And it's just like I said before, there are kids that do not have positive male role models in their life.
Right.
They could look at your dad as a great role model, and they could see what it meant to be a good man, irrespective of football.
Yeah, that's a great point, Coach.
And you mentioned Coach Blackstone.
Yeah.
And the things I think that he taught the kids, he taught them about hanging in there in the face of what would seem something that was hopeless situation. It was hopeless. And he also cared about the kids outside of the practice field, you know?
Oh my goodness. Yes. No doubt about it. And I mean, that's the thing that a lot of people I think don't see. And that's where I get into the risk reward proposition there, man. Like, I get it. If you don't want to have any risk, I understand that, but man, I'll tell you what, you're missing out on a lot of great experiences that hopefully you can find somewhere else. I'm just saying, if your kid wants to play football, I still am in the boat of, hey, let him play, man. I mean, you know.
Yeah. And a kid should not be penalized if they don't want to play.
No, heck no, it doesn't make any difference. Yeah, I mean, there's so many other things to do now, which is great.
And there's so many other sports too that they can learn good things from also.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we really appreciate you weighing in on this and giving us your thoughts on that. And hopefully now that we've got this new technology, maybe we'll talk to you a little bit more frequently when we come to these topics.
Okay. Well, that sounds good.
Hey, thanks a bunch for joining us. Have a great evening. And we look forward to talking to you again.
Too.
All right. Take care, Coach.
See you, Coach.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Hey, there was Coach Rinehart's take on the Bengals.
Yeah, man, that's pretty good, man.
We got another one to do.
Deep. Yeah, we're gonna call somebody. We got another guy we're gonna call.
We'll wrap this one up.